A warm welcome to JoyNews Interactive, live from digital address GA0992539 in Kokomemle, Accra. You can watch the show on DSTV channel 421 and Go TV channel 144. On YouTube, we are My Joy Online TV, but you can also join the conversation on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We're JoyNews on TV. Now, Kumbugu MP Ras Mubarak has been trending because of his decision to ride a bicycle to Parliament to protest what he says is hardship in the country. Now, the MP says he rode 17 kilometers to the Parliament House on Tuesday morning to, among others, highlight the rising cost of fuel in the country.
I did that with the view to highlighting the concerns that have been raised by constituents, by ordinary Ghanaians who are feeling the burning injustices of our society, who are struggling to get by, the taxi drivers who have had to complain about their inability to make, to make their sales, the market women and men, the barbers. It was to highlight their plight. For the first time in the history of our country, we have never seen the kinds of job losses, the kinds of things we are seeing today, where businesses are going bust, where companies are collapsing, where people are struggling. I've seen people who can't even raise 100 Ghana cedis to buy medication. I've seen people who are working but their salary can't even take them to the 15th of the month.
Hasn't it always been so, even when your party...
At what point in the history of our country did you see many media houses laying off workers? At what point? At what point in the history of our country did you see fuel price hit more than 5 cedis per litre? At what point in the history of our country did you see the cedi to dollar being over 5 Ghana cedis? At what point? So this is the first time.
Now, there have been a lot of talk on social media. There's been a lot of talk on social media, and people are saying that, do you know that in Europe, even the president, the prime ministers ride bicycles to work? So what's so special about Ras Mubarak riding his bicycle to work? But let's go to Facebook and see what you have been saying. I'm going to start with Valanya Katia, who says, so Honorable Ras Mubarak can insult the intelligence of those who are using bicycles as poor, especially those who are in the 3 northern regions. How long will he be transporting with the bicycle to the Parliament House? I think this is mere cheap politics and just to score political merits at the highest peak. We will just see him and ignore him to the bottomless pits. Nana Kwesi Dakwa says he only drew our attention to the fact that we should stop wasting taxpayers' money, luxurious cars out in buying luxurious cars for MPs because they can use bicycles. Matt KSK Sala says, I hope he will continue till the end of the year. His one-day ride can't change anything, not to talk of a year. We should be serious sometimes. This one is from B, who says, elsewhere, a prime minister rides bicycle to work. Here, an MPC is riding to work as a protest to economic hardship. If he doesn't ride to Kumbungu to brief his constituents on proceedings in Parliament this week, what happened to Honorable ABA Fuseni during the NDC constituency elections will repeat itself. This one is from Emmanuel Jesse, who says, in Europe, where all sorts of cars and brand new, even millionaires ride bicycles. Selom Kwesi says, while in rich countries, prime ministers and ministers ride bicycles or take public transport to work every day, you in a poor country riding bicycle to protest against economic hardship. And he ends with a hum. Obeng says, company strategy, he should ride it from Ghana to London, we don't care. Campaign strategy, He should ride it from Ghana to London. We don't care. I want him to say he has stopped taking his salary. To say that he has stopped taking his salary. All right, this one is from Henry Nana Yakum, who says, it's normal in London. He should give us a break after taking his sons and daughters outside the country to school. Meanwhile, Parliament has summoned the Transport Minister to offer explanations as to why many footbridges are hanging on uncompleted. If you had the opportunity to ask the Minister questions, what would be your question?
I would have asked him that if you're constructing footbridges for pedestrians to use, obviously it should be placed at a place that will be convenient for them. So why would you construct a footbridge? Perhaps the Adenta one might be one that I can use. The one at Adenta that is uncompleted in front of WAS. There's a footbridge there that has been there since I was attending the school and hasn't been completed up to now. Why would you start a project like that and leave it? One, because it's in front of a school and students should be using that, but we are forced to use a highway to cross. We don't mind. We are taking it like that.
I would ask him why they don't usually complete the bridges and like what the constructions that they make for it to be safe for people to cross. Yeah, I would ask why they don't normally complete those crossings, those bridges, because we know that every year or every 4 years another political party comes. So one political party comes to do this construction and the next one comes maybe because they didn't start it. So they sometimes find it hard or difficult to finish those bridges. I
would have asked her what they're doing because during the political campaigns they promise us that there may be footbridges, especially Medina and those accident-prone areas. And they're almost 2 years to government, and we haven't seen anything. What are they doing? Is it a political talk, the usual political talk, or is it that action is being done, which as citizens we are not getting known? So these are some of the questions we may be asking.
I mean, this very particular area, the Medina Adenta area that they keep speaking about now, has been the news for almost a year or two now, and that has been the challenge for a while now. So I believe that, I don't know whether it's a matter of funds, I don't really know, but if there's something that could be done, I'll ask him why they haven't yet provided funds for that to be done all this while. Is it that they don't place that much value on the people's lives, or they just don't care about it?
All right, let's head to our Facebook page and see what you have been saying. I'm going to start with T. Sule, who says, do we have to threaten a demonstration to get the attention to their work? You can clearly see it as an act of wagering on the part of our leaders. Yes, their relatives are not affected. Kaku says, Honorable, is Ghana still working? If yes, since you came into power, haven't you seen the work on the Adenta Road? Asamoah Kweku says, Honorable Minister, what are the interim plans to save lives on that stretch? Atambila David says, how many days should we record before he repairs the footbridges in 2019? James Abusanga says, why do you seem to care about us in opposition but seem adamant in government? And Los Blancos says, why is the Bolga Baku road not completed? So the Bolga Boku road not completed. So he's asking why it's not completed. At Mark Paradise says he should answer why we're losing so many lives. And Asma Press says, Mr. Minister, what is your work as a minister? You know how to keep the conversation on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We're Joy News on TV. Now, the MTTD says an average of 6 people die in road accidents every day in Ghana. From January to September this year alone, we recorded 1,710 fatalities and 9,973 injuries. Now, the question I'm asking you, do you feel safe?
Not at all. Not at all. You see, that same Medina stretch moves all the way to La Paz, Kwashiman. And sometimes you look at the way they've sighted the overhead. Even at Hong Kong, the main Hong Kong junction, the overhead is somewhere around Qatar. So if you are going to Hong Kong, you have to alight at Qatar, walk a very long distance before you get to Hong Kong. And when you get to Hong Kong, you have no other option than to use the main road as a means of getting to the other side, which is very, very bad.
I honestly don't feel safe crossing the roads because you are crossing sometimes with some group of people and then you think that, oh, maybe the driver should slow down a bit for you. If you don't run, they'll just end up hitting you. They don't really care like that. So I'm looking at also the pedestrian crossing, and then we're looking at the footbridges. Sometimes the footbridges are so far away from where we usually cross. If you cross from there, you have to walk another distance before you go and get to your station that you're going to take. Honestly, it's bad. The motorcyclists even make it worse.
No, not really. If you look at the stretches, the roads that we have in here, especially if you consider the M1 and N1 motorway, when you get to La Paz and you are crossing that very stretch from Alaji to Circle, it's very serious. And for us, sometimes when I get there, I wonder what our leadership are doing, because there must be footbridges which would give people free access to crossing the road. And so personally, I think that something must be done about that.
I don't feel that safe in some instances, especially the areas you mentioned, around the Medina area, and also around the police headquarters, crossing from the other side to GID here. There are times you feel that unless the traffic lights are not working, then you have to move in and risking your life to cross to the other side.
Do you feel safe? You can drop your comments on our Facebook page. We're Joy News on TV. Twitter, tweet at us. We're Joy News on TV. We're also on Instagram. We're Joy News on TV. While you do that, I'm going to take a quick breather. When we come back, we're doing Tech Talk.